What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? This is your boy Jay, and you are listening to Dem Splatter Talk Boyz. Hit that intro.
Hey, my name is Devin Sawa, and you're watching Splatter Talk Cinema.
Would you lead me to my doom? Yeah.
We them boys.
Hold up. We them boys. What's going on, everybody? This is your boy Jay. Like I said, you're listening to Dem Splatter Talk Boyz. And today, Tuesday, June 6th, I have to pay homage. And if you know me, if you are subscribed to Splatter Talk Cinema on YouTube, or you following us on any of our social media handles, whether it's TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, or Reddit, you know for a fact that I am a Fred head. First and foremost, I am a horror fan, but right at a close second, I am a Fred head. I have been a Fred head since I was 6 years old, watching A Nightmare on Elm Street for the Dream Master. Listen, and the reason why I'm coming with this episode today is because if you are a Fred head yourself, or if you're even a horror fan, you know that June 6th is the man of our dreams and nightmares, Robert Englund's birthday. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, today is Robert Englund's birthday, and I am going to dedicate this episode of Dem Splatter Talk Boyz to my favorite horror actor. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, he's my favorite horror actor. Freddy Krueger is my favorite horror slasher, and A Nightmare on Elm Street is my favorite horror series. There is no deviation, but I will put Friday the 13th at a close second. But with that being said, today's not Friday the 13th. Today is Tuesday, June 6th, and it's Robert Englund's birthday, like I stated before. So we're going to talk to you about some Robert Englund stuff, if you want to follow me on this journey. So I was actually looking on the internet, I was scouring the internet before, and I meant to do an episode about this topic before, but I wanted to save it because I knew there was going to be something coming down the pike when it came to news about rebooting or recreating the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise. And what better day to do it than today? Happy birthday, Robert Englund. We will see you in September at the Terracon in Marlborough, Massachusetts. We have our photo ops ready. We have our autographs ready. We are coming to see you, and hopefully we'll see you at the hotel as well. But anyway, I digress. A few days ago, I had read in a Variety magazine, on the website, that Robert Englund was done. He was done, playing the gloved one. And I actually ran into the article. I'm not going to go over the whole article, but there's another topic about the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise that I want to tackle, and they do tackle in this particular article. So I'm just going to read the article. The article is from sci-fi.com. The title of the article is A New Nightmare? Chucky star Devin Sawa volunteers to take over as Freddy Krueger? Okay. The homie, Devin Sawa! The homie taking over the mantle of the man of our nightmares. I get excited saying that. So I gotta say it again. Devin Sawa! Yeah, Devin Sawa taking over as Freddy Krueger. Robert Englund might not be game for Freddy anymore, but Devin Sawa is. Sorta. This article was written by Matthew Jackson, May 31st, 2023. And it was solidified and legitimized by Devin Sawa himself. He actually shared it on Instagram, and I was pretty hyped to see it. I was like, fuck, Devin Sawa as Freddy Krueger? Then, I look back at his portrayal of his different characters in the Chucky series. If you don't know, he played 3 different characters in 2 of the seasons of Chucky. The 3rd season is in production, I believe, and I hope that we get our homie Devin Sawa in the next Chucky season. It wouldn't be right without him. He's been in the last 2. But anyway, see, I digress. Topic whiplash. But anyway, let's go ahead and read this article. Just days ago, in an interview to promote the new documentary about his career, Hollywood Dreams and Nightmares, legendary horror star Robert Englund explained why he's done putting on the glove and the hat to play his signature role, Freddy Krueger. Quote, "I'm too old and thick to play Freddy now," the actor told Variety. "I just can't do fight scenes for more than one take anymore. I've got a bad neck, a bad back, and arthritis in my right wrist, so I have to hang it up. But I would love to cameo." Listen, if anybody's seen that episode of The Goldbergs, where Robert Englund donned the makeup and everything, and one of the characters was having a nightmare, and it involved Robert Englund, it involved Freddy Krueger. He was pretty thick. He was pretty thick up in the chest area. You know, his face, obviously with age, your face gets a little thicker and everything. You get thicker. So all you guys that's 18 to 21 that's watching them Splatter Talk Boys, you're going to get kind of thick in the face. So get ready for it. But with that being said, I looked at him and I'm like, damn, maybe it wouldn't be right for him to come back, because Freddy Krueger has always been known, you know, as this slender build. You know, that was the contrast in Freddy vs. Jason. Ken Kersinger was this tall, hulking person, and Robert Englund was this kind of tall, you know, but he was small compared to Ken. That was the contrast. Freddy, with his chest, you know, barreling out, and him being a little stocky and everything, it just didn't look right in the Goldbergs. So, with that being said, I'm like, damn, we might have to look somewhere else for a new Freddy Krueger if we want new tales of Elm Street. And I'm the type of Fred head, I want new tales. You know, I want new adventures, new nightmares from Elm Street. I don't want the series to end because the actor who portrayed the slasher is done. I don't want that to happen. You know, so I am game for other people taking on the mantle, for other people trying their hat. I mean, Jackie Earle Haley, he threw his hat into the ring in the Nightmare on Elm Street reboot. And I wasn't mad at Jackie Earle Haley for that movie. I just think that movie is bullshit. And whoever directed it, I'm going to look you up in the IMDb's. I want to know who directed the remake to A Nightmare on Elm Street. I know Platinum Dunes was the ones that produced it, but I want to know who that director is. You know what? I am going to IMDb Nightmare on Elm Street. The director, Samuel Baer. Oh yeah, I believe Samuel Baer was known for music videos before he directed A Nightmare on Elm Street. But anywho, they threw their hat in. It was another tale. I was curious to see what they were going to bring to the essence, to the lore, to the already established history of A Nightmare on Elm Street. I was wondering what they were going to do with it. And when we get to the movie theater, the first showing, the one that I went to go see for the first time, I liked it. I thought it was okay. I was kind of hyped when I left the theater. But as I continue to watch it, and over the years, it's like this movie falls flat on its face. And I don't blame Jackie Earle Haley for his portrayal of Freddy Krueger. I blame the writers and the director, the direction that they gave him, Jackie Earle Haley, to play Freddy as. The makeup effects fucking sucked. Oh my, okay, this is not a rant on the 2010 remake. So let me go ahead and slow down, get back on topic. Get back on the fact that Robert doesn't want to play Freddy anymore. So, my take on what should happen. First and foremost, these movies are guaranteed to get you money, to get the production company money, get the studio money. Put some money into it. Stop giving these horror films $21 million budgets or $18 million budgets. Give them something that they can work with. Give them something that they could actually CG Freddy Krueger. Yeah. CG Freddy Krueger. And I know you guys are like, well, what the fuck do you mean CG Freddy Krueger? What I mean, okay, if you scour YouTube, you can find holograms of Tupac, holograms of Biggie, holograms of Eazy-E, Michael Jackson, you name it. People that have since passed away, rest their souls. They're still on stage performing. You mean to tell me, look at the MCU. I know the MCU makes billions upon billions of dollars, and they have enough money to put in to the budgets of these films. But you just had, well, you didn't just have, it's been years, but you had Thanos, a big purple giant, snap out half of existence and look great. It looked so great that they had just full-on face shots in the movie of Thanos, of him talking, his lips moving to the words, sounding like, you know, just looking like he was there talking to Gamora, or he was there talking to Scarlet Witch. You know, it looked beautiful. Why can't we do that to horror films? Why couldn't we do that to a Freddy Krueger film? CG him, have somebody in a motion capture suit, and there are a lot of individuals who can do the mannerisms and the body language of Robert Englund, who can have that swagger that Freddy Krueger has brought. I mean, I have a video on Splatter Talk Cinema on YouTube just discussing who could take over the glove if Robert Englund decided to put it down. And these are YouTube guys. So if you haven't seen that video, I highly suggest that you go see it. I'll put the link in the description, or I'll have some shit pop up on the screen probably about now, so you can go check it out, because there are three individuals that I think that could kill it. Kevin Roach, Roberto Lombardi, Paul Bailey. Go check it out. It's a dope ass video. But I digress. Robert Englund could come back, but CG him, have somebody in a motion capture suit and put him in the shadows again. You know, have Freddy come up. In the first Nightmare on Elm Street, he was on film for a total of 7 minutes. In that whole movie, Robert Englund, Freddy Krueger was seen for 7 minutes. So you mean to tell me you can't have 8 to 10 minutes of CGI? Let's not have James Bond Freddy Krueger anymore. Let's not have the one that is a scenery chewing, that has to be in the limelight, in the spotlight. Let's not have him, but let's have part 1, part 2, even part 3 kind of kept him a little dark. But when they went to the boiler room, it was like supposed to be a hellscape, so you could see him better. In the sky, you could see him better. You could actually see him better in part 3. So let's keep him in the shadows. And if you can just imagine, like when I do the example, I talk about Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. I hate to go back to the MCU again, but when they were hiding America Chavez, Wanda was trying to use the reflections in order to get to her. They automatically started covering up all reflections, but it inevitably took the gong's reflection for Wanda to find America Chavez and to pretty much be where they're at. So she contorted herself out of the gong and shit. Can you imagine Freddy Krueger doing that shit in a dream? Can you imagine these dreamscapes being something completely different? Because, hate to say it, in the 2010 remake, the only thing that they did was use that fucking boiler room that none of them have been to. You know, none of the victims of that movie have been to the boiler room. They don't know where the fuck they're at. We've never been to the boiler room outside of the dream, so we don't know what it looks like. You know. In the first movie, the boiler room was the boiler room of a school. Dope. In the remake, it was the boiler room of what? Was it just a factory? Was it a boiler that he worked at? Was it under the Badham preschool? We don't know. But anywho, CGI Freddy. Have Robert Englund do the voiceover. Because if you guys didn't know, Robert Englund is fucking dope when it comes to voiceovers. He was actually in the Injustice 2 video game as Scarecrow. So if you play Injustice 2, on Xbox One or PlayStation 4, go check out the Scarecrow. Listen to his voice. You will see that it's Robert Englund. So let's get him in a booth, a nice cushy booth, have him say his lines, and bam, CG Freddy Krueger. And I mean, I got a whole fucking concept of what another Nightmare on Elm Street could be. I have talked to Rick ad nauseum about this, and I'll actually do that in one of the future Dem Splatter Talk Boyz episodes. So let me know if you guys want to hear that, because I feel it's dope. It brings back legacy characters. It has that essence of Nightmare on Elm Street, you know. So, and it gives us closure to what Robert Englund has brought, while also allowing it to sequel or just reboot. That's another question that I have for you guys. Like, do you want to see a continuation of the current timeline? Or do you want to see it rebooted? Or do you just want them to leave A Nightmare on Elm Street alone? Let me know in the comments section. I'm curious. So let's get back to this article on sci-fi.com. But of course, just because Englund is retiring from the role doesn't mean that Freddy's dead forever. The character was already played by Jackie Earle Haley in A Nightmare on Elm Street reboot from 2010. And there are already actors lining up to play the beloved slasher villain in whatever the next incarnation of Freddy might be, including one of the stars of Sci-Fi's Chucky. On Tuesday, not today, but last Tuesday, the story of his retirement. On Tuesday, when the story of Englund's retirement from the role started really making the rounds, Devon Sawa, who played 3 different characters in the sci-fi hit based on the Child's Play franchise, volunteered to take over Englund on Twitter. Devon Sawa on Twitter said, "I'd love to follow in his footsteps and play Freddy. Bro, you did misspell it, but, you know, we love you, Devon Sawa."
3. Dem Splatter!
But Bloody Disgusting also, he shared their story about it and said, well, will Robert Englund ever play Freddy again? He told at Variety, "I've got a bad back and bad neck and arthritis in my right wrist, so I have to hang it up. But I would love to cameo." And they tell you, don't miss Hollywood Dreams and Nightmares, the Robert Englund story, on Screenbox on June 6th, on his birthday. That drops today. I'm actually gonna go and get Screenbox to see if I can watch it. The article goes on to say, now to be clear, it's not like there's a casting process underway at all. There hasn't been a new Nightmare film in more than a decade. The first reboot wasn't exactly all that well received, and there's no clear picture right now as to what the future of that particular series and that particular villain might look like. Still, Sawa has quite the horror pedigree, with a career stretching back through things like Final Destination, Idle Hands. It's easy to imagine him as a contender. That said, Sawa later followed up on his post by responding to a fan to clarify that he was just kidding around about taking on the role. However, Sawa also made it clear when the fans suggest Englund's shadow might be too long for a new face to embody Freddy, that you should never count the actor out. He said he was only playing, but I had a coach tell me once, never go to California. I'd never become an actor. And that I was crazy to leave. So, I mean, that's basically saying, don't count out Devon Sawa. If he puts his fucking head to it, he could be our next Freddy Krueger. So listen, do I think that Devon Sawa could embody what Freddy is? Could he make it his own? I believe he could. I believe that he, of all people, should get the shot. Because, I mean, I've actually heard fans say, well, let's get Kevin Bacon in here. Let's get Kevin Bacon. Kevin Bacon would do such a great job. I'm like, are we bugging? Like, are we bugging the fuck out? Like, I couldn't believe that people were seriously considering Kevin Bacon. Like, do you guys not realize that Kevin Bacon is 64 years old? He's not a spring chicken himself. You know, he's younger than Robert Englund, yes, of course. But he's 64. If we want longevity in the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise, we can't have a 64-year-old playing the role. Can Kevin Bacon act? You're fucking right, he can act. He's fucking badass. Kevin Bacon is he's dope. He's a dope-ass actor. Could he do Freddy? Could he do Freddy justice? Yes. Yes, he could. I believe he could. With the right script. Because you could put the best actor in that role, the one that fits perfectly. You could put him in the Freddy Krueger role, and depending on the writer and director, Freddy could be shit in that movie. So it's not only the actor that you cast as Freddy Krueger, it's the director that you have, it's the writers that you have. I mean, let's look at Freddy versus Jason. Ronnie Yu didn't even watch any of the Freddy nor Jason movies before he directed. Like, no, you gotta at least know about the properties. I would rather somebody directed that hated Freddy and Jason compared to somebody that didn't even know them. At least there's a template to what it should be. I mean, Freddy versus Jason looked like a cousin of Bride of Chucky, you know? It really had that Bride of Chucky look. And I mean, I know it was the director of Bride of Chucky, Ronnie Yu, but you can switch it up. You know, you can switch it the fuck up. I would have liked to see what a James Gunn Nightmare on Elm Street would have looked like, tell you the truth. But I'd rather see somebody in the role like a Devon Sawa or a Jack Quaid. You know, I would like to see that. See what they could bring to the table. Like, cause right now, Devon Sawa's 44 years old. He has a lot in the tank when it comes to longevity. You know, Lord willing, he has longevity. He has age on his side. 44. By the time he hits Kevin Bacon age, he could have 6, 7 movies as Freddy. Look at him. I mean, I know he still has some of the boyish looks, the boyish good looks from the Final Destination, the Casper Days and everything, but he also has a ruggedness about him. You know, the man has a ruggedness about him. If you look at stuff like Gasoline Alley, you know, you'll see that he has a ruggedness about him. You know, even seeing him in person, it's like you can see the ruggedness. You know, you can see the ruggedness. I ain't even gonna front. Like the 5 o'clock shadow and stuff like that. Look at him. Even the priest in the Chucky series, like season 2, he looked a little rugged as the priest. I'm like, okay. So Devon Sawa, I believe he could pull off a pre-burnt Freddy, because as a Freddy fan, I have died for a prequel. It doesn't even have to be a full movie prequel. It could be what the remake of Friday the 13th. I respect the shit out of that remake, but it could be what Friday the 13th did, and they took the first of the movie to show, you know, really what happened with Pamela Voorhees getting her head chopped off. So, in a reboot and a remake using Devon Sawa, let's go ahead and show what happens to him. Use the first 10 to 15 minutes of the movie to show what happened to Freddy pre-burn. You know, so we see him stalk a couple people. We see him take down by the police, search warrant signed in the wrong place. We see the court proceedings. He's let go. They track him down. They burn him down, and he dies. Title card. Boom. And then, you know, fast forward to present day. We'll take it as Freddy was burnt in the 80s instead of in the 50s, I believe. 50s or 60s. And we do it like that, if you're going for a complete reboot. But I have an idea, like I told you guys, I have an idea about a continuation of this franchise. A closure, if you will, for this franchise, for the Robert Englund franchise. If he could do it one more time. I mean, is dope. So I am going to do an episode of Dem Splatter Talk Boyz letting you know my idea for next Nightmare on Elm Street movie to put Robert Englund's Nightmare to bed, because I believe it deserves a proper send-off. Freddy's Dead, The Final Nightmare was not a proper send-off for Freddy. Freddy versus Jason was not a proper send-off for Freddy. Like, the wink at the camera was cool. It was dope. It was a love letter. Thanks, Robert. Appreciate that. But your Freddy has to be put to rest. If you cannot do it again, if you cannot do it anymore, no one need to take up yours. If they're going to do another Freddy Krueger, it needs to be something completely different. You know, obviously I'm preaching to the choir here, but you pick Devon Sawa and you don't remake. You reimagine, you know, because I think that's what happened with the 2010 remake. It was a remake. They took so much shit from the original and just copied and pasted into their movies, but used different actors and shit. And that's not what we wanted. Like, the only thing that they did that with in the remake of Friday the 13th was Pamela Voorhees getting her head chopped off. That was it. Then the rest of the movie was an original movie. Like, A Nightmare on Elm Street was just almost beat for beat the first movie. Like, let's see, in the first movie, female dies first. That movie, female dies first. Then a male, same male. The only thing that's different really is micronaps and the fact that Quentin survives and Glenn didn't. That's the only difference. But I digress. Devon Sawa would be fucking perfect as Freddy Krueger. I would love to see him in the makeup. Devon Sawa, if you ever listen to this, get a special effects artist to put you in the Freddy makeup. Do a short, put it on YouTube. Show us how you would look as Freddy Krueger. And on some real shit, I don't want the alien looking Freddy from 2010. Let's go ahead and play off of Robert Englund's Freddy, but make it look a bit more realistic and less like pepperoni pizza. But get somebody to do that for us. Show us what you would look like as Freddy Krueger. If anybody that's listening to Dem Splatter Talk Boyz is super dope in Photoshop and shit like that, somebody take a picture of Devon Sawa and turn him into Freddy. Don't copy and paste. Don't, cut Robert Englund's head off and put it on Devon Sawa's body. No, that's not what we're looking at. I'm trying to see the facial structure, what you gonna look like under the makeup. So please, either a graphic artist do that, or Devon Sawa, get a makeup artist so we can check out what you will look like as Freddy Krueger. Ladies and gentlemen, what do you guys think? Do you guys think that Devon Sawa would be a good Freddy Krueger? If not, please share in the comment section below. Please share who you think would be a great Freddy Krueger. If it's Kevin Bacon, say why. If it's Bill Skarsgård, say why. If it's Devon Sawa, let us know in the comments below. This has been your boy Jay on a special day, Robert Englund's birthday. Bars, I'm spitting over here. But this has been your boy Jay from Splatter Talk Cinema, just paying homage to Robert Englund on this episode of Dem Splatter Talk Boyz. So make sure that you head over to Splatter Talk Cinema on YouTube and check out our most recent releases, which our most recent release, no pun intended, is Freddy vs. Jason. We did a commentary. We did a Let's Watch on Freddy vs. Jason. So make sure you head over to Splatter Talk Cinema on YouTube to check that out. We send in birthday shout outs to Robert Englund on Instagram as well as TikTok, and getting video suggestions from Reddit. So if you have any type of video suggestion, find us Splatter Talk Cinema on Reddit. Let us know. You can let us know in the comment section here. If you are not subscribed to the channel, we actually had a few people make a mass exodus from us. We lost like 14 subscribers, for real, to keep it 100 with you. And I don't know why. I think it's because we skipped a week and didn't release anything, and so people got tired and left, but there was a method to our madness. If you guys did not know, your Splatter Talk boys stay in different parts of the United States. So while Sin and Rick stay in the South in North Carolina, I myself stay in New England. So every so often we get a chance to get together when it's not a con, and we got together and we did a few commentaries. So we are in the editing process of those commentaries. And I'll tell you right now, one of them is called Sharks of the Corn. Yeah, we watched that shit. Oh my God. Whew. Make sure you stick around for that. And if you're not subscribed, hit that subscribe button. If you like this content, you like this podcast format, hit that like button. Give us a comment down below on what you want us to cover. We also do horror movie trivia. So if you want to be a contestant on the horror movie trivia, please let us know in the comment section. The rules are you have to be subscribed to us on Splatter Talk Cinema YouTube channel, as well as following us on one of our social media platforms, if it would be Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, or Reddit. You can pick whichever one, but you have to show us proof on the social media handle and let us know that you are subscribed to the channel, and you may be next for horror movie trivia. And believe me, horror movie trivia, we got prizes. The prize for this one, nobody has won yet, but the prize for this one includes an autographed copy of Black Friday, autographed by Devin Sawa. So make sure you are subscribed to us and you are following us so you can get that autograph. This has been your boy Jay, Splatter Talk Cinema. I hope you guys have a wonderful Tuesday and the rest of your week. I gotta get back to editing. It's a wrap.
Would you lead me to my doom?